You try different things like that, and then you only see that it's a dead end. If you try enough things, then you will eventually find a product market fit. So all professional services are looking to use technology, digitization, AI. The lower level consulting or lower level transactional advice is automated. This results in a war on talent. You'll be amazed how many people that are simply not able to have a normal conversation.
Hi everybody, welcome to the Devico Breakfast Bar. Here we speak with different people involved in the business landscape, share their expertise, delve into the latest tech trends, and explore the ins and outs of IT outsourcing. I'm Oleg Sadikov, and today I'm excited to have Stefan Debois, the CEO and co-founder at PointerPro, a software platform to create your own online assessments with auto-generated personalized reports. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss on the new episodes. Hi, Stefan. Could you start by telling us a bit about your journey from your career experience to co-founding PointerPro?
Yeah, sure, Oleg. Thank you for having me, by the way. Yeah, I'm originating from Leuven in Belgium, and I have engineering degree as an educational background. And then afterwards, that was already some time ago, it was in the late 90s, I joined a consulting firm, Pricewaterhouse at that moment, and then it converted into PricewaterhouseCoopers. So I stayed in consulting for about 15 years, so quite a period. And then during that period, I was mainly involved with enterprise software, like larger software packages like SAP and Oracle and the likes. And we had large-scale projects to implement those systems in multinational companies. Let's say it like that. But after all these years, I wanted to try something new. And as an engineer, I wanted also to make my own products. Not only make my own product, but also create my own business around it. So, and as I was my whole life already working around enterprise software, the logical next step would be to make a software product. So that's what I did in 2012. Then we started, back then it was called Survey Anyplace. Our tool, it has since rebranded to PointerPro. But in the beginning, Survey Anyplace, as the name indicates, it was like a survey platform. And we wanted to make experience for the respondent, the one who takes the survey. We wanted to make that experience superior as what the other tools had. So we entered or we introduced gamification, conversational elements, a nice design also on mobile for those surveys. And that is what we tried to make the difference with versus the other players. Now in the beginning, it went quite well. But then after a while, in the survey markets, there were quite some other players and quite some competition. It was not so easy to differentiate. So growth started to slow down a little bit. So we knew that we had to find something else, like a niche, which was more valuable than just surveys. And then in 2019, we introduced the personalized reports. So basically, you have the questionnaire or the survey, and then the result of the survey is used to personalized report, which is generated for the end user. Think like a cybersecurity questionnaire or assessment, and then you get automatically some advice in a nicely formatted report. That whole process can be automated with our tool. And then also we rebranded to PointerPro a few years later because we wanted to have the word survey not to be part anymore of the name, because we did so much more than surveys, like assessments with personalized reports, which is a bit different. So then we rebranded to PointerPro, and that's where we are now.
Nice. I would like to ask you to tell me more about these personalized reports. What does it exactly mean?
Yeah, it means that we have the questionnaire, and you can compare that with the traditional survey functionality. So you can have multiple choice questions, open text questions, and everything can be branded in your design. And then afterwards, you can also look at the results of the survey. You can look at it on screen, or you can also download it in CSV and Excel and so on. So all the functionalities that a typical survey tool would have. But at the end of the survey, when in a normal survey tool, you have something like, thank you for participating in this survey, then it only starts for us. So then we have the additional functionality to give an advice report to the respondent, be it via just the download button or via an email that is sent to the respondent, that the PDF report is attached to that email. And so the rules on which dynamic content is displayed in the report, depending on what the answers on the questions, which answers were given by the respondent, those rules can be configured in our system. Yeah. So when you, for example, if you take back let's say cybersecurity as maturity assessment, could say like a question could be, do you have antivirus on your PC already, or do you have multi-factor authentication enabled? Well, you could, as a simple rule, you could say like, if the answer on the question like, do you have antivirus is no, then the advice in the report should be, you have to install antivirus. I mean, it's a very simple example, but it can also be more difficult. You can calculate scores and then in different categories, the different sub-scores, and then depending on score or score ranges, you can give different advice. You can display those or like visualize those scores in nice graphs and everything. So basically what we do is, before with the surveys, we did data collection, and now with the assessments, we do advice automation. So we automate advice delivery for companies, mainly for professional services companies.
What challenges did you encounter while developing PointerPro, and how did you overcome them?
Yeah, challenges, there are quite some, of course. In the beginning, when we still were in the survey market, the main challenge was to build something meaningful, differentiated, and then which had meaning for our clients rather than for us, of course. So this product market fit, that was a main challenge. We only found it like 7 years later when we came with the assessments with personalized reports. The challenge was then, I think, also that we had to find this product market fit. We tried different things. Like, for example, we tried event surveys, like with the QR code, that you can scan QR code from a visitor at an event and then answer some questions, and then it's sent to the CRM automatically, these kind of things. But we tried different things like that, and then you only see that it's a dead end if you already have invested quite some effort. So that's a challenge to quickly see when something doesn't work also, and then to go to the next thing, because if you try enough things, then you will eventually find a product market fit. That was back then. And now with PointerPro, now that we have product market fit, we are quite depending on inbound traffic for lead generation and customer acquisition. Now the main challenge is to be more independent of inbound, be more independent of Google also. Do also outbound, land and expand on existing customers, and also make sure that people know us before they need us. Thought leadership, top of funnel marketing, these kind of things, that's high on the agenda now.
How do you do outbound now?
Traditionally, we only we did a lot of inbound, and still we want to continue to do that. But we want to have both inbound and outbound, because it de-risks if you have both, because each channel has advantages and disadvantages. The advantage of outbound is that you can target the customers that you want, your ideal customer, which is less the case with inbound. But the disadvantage is quite difficult to get it working at scale. So for outbound, we didn't do yet. We only starting. We want to make it hyper-personalized, do a rather small number of messages, which are emails or LinkedIn or phone calls or a mix of those, but highly personalized, and get it to work, and then eventually scale it afterwards. That's the thing that we are now have to do, but it's not yet. It's still work in progress.
In 2019, before finding this product market fit, you said that you started seeing growth shrinking. What happened exactly after you implemented personalized reports and this assessment approach? How did it reflect the growth?
Yeah, the growth went to from 10% per year to 40, 50% per year.
Immediately since 2019?
Well, immediately, yeah, not as from the moment that we launched the product, but pretty soon afterwards, because we already had, from an inbound marketing perspective, quite good authority profile meaning that our websites attracted a lot of organic traffic. Not all of this traffic are leads, of course. Most of it is just people that are looking for certain information. But having this authority helped us once we switched to assessments, which is a smaller domain. If you compare it with surveys, it's less competitive from a traffic point of view. So then immediately we were, and Google knows that it's about, these are similar topic domains like assessments and surveys. So if you switch from survey to assessment, you don't get penalized to that you lose your domain ranking. So we immediately had also a lot of traffic for assessments, and the product market fit was much better, so that traffic converted much better. That's one thing. And the second thing also, we were able to make paid ads, Google ads, working and profitable with the assessments, which we never succeeded in with surveys, because again, like surveys, more expensive keywords, and we had a cheaper product. So the combination of that made that the Google ads were not profitable for the surveys, but they were for the assessments.
Given your experience across different industries, what common trends have you observed in terms of the use of technology for professional relationship building?
Yeah, I think in the professional services industry, we see that companies are looking for technologies to achieve what we call nonlinear growth. So they want to grow. I've worked 15 years in consulting, and when we wanted to grow the business, we always had to recruit more and more people, because the business is delivering services in a broad sense, of course. And to deliver those services, you need people, you need consultants. That is a constraint, and that puts a limit on how fast you can grow, of course. So all professional services are looking to use technology, digitization, AI, other tools to be able to go faster than the headcount, basically. And we are like a piece of the puzzle. People or like consultants can put part of their expertise in our tool, and then have the tool do the work. Partially, of course, you still need consultants to really giving the transactional advice based on a standardized model that you can define is something that our tool typically can do. We see trends of digitization in consulting, not only the back office, I would say, like the invoicing and the timesheets and so everything that's mostly already digitized, but also the actual advice delivery, the actual delivering advice to clients. That is also become more automated now.
How do they automate this approach? How do they automate consultants?
In general, you will not start to automate all consultants, also the strategic consultants like the McKinsey, and so you will not start to automate, I would say, the top consultants, because that's mostly very customized and requires some deep expertise. But the most transactional consulting, that is something that you can automate. And if you come back to the cybersecurity example, you would see it as the Olympic minimum in cybersecurity, for example. This is something that you can automate, like a first test, like a cybersecurity scan, 10 questions or like 15 questions and dimensions that you certainly have to do. You have to do antivirus, you have to do multi-factor authentication, you have to do this and that. This is something that you can put in an assessment and I say, okay, this is the priority. This is what you have to do, and you can do this on your own or with the help of a consultant, or ideally like on your own, like with a digital guidance from the consulting company. And then you can come back when you need higher level advice. And that means that the lower level consulting or lower level, call it transactional advice, is automated via the tool. That's our goal.
Being based in Belgium, do you notice any unique challenges or opportunities in the tech industry in your region compared to the other parts of the world?
Yeah, I think in Belgium we tend to complain a lot about Belgium, and not only about the weather, but also about other things. But I think that there are like a lot of good things also here, specifically for tech companies. We have a lot of like incubators, events. We have also other companies that have made it, like Showpad, Deliverect, these kind of companies that have become unicorn and where you can learn from. And also people that have worked at those companies, then they come on the job market and they can be recruited. All these kind of things. I mean, it's an interesting environment. Maybe not the same as in the US, but it's also much cheaper to attract people here. I would say it's a good environment. There's a couple of disadvantages. One of them is like the ability to recruit employees from outside Belgium. That is still a quite difficult process. We are now in the recruiting developer from outside Belgium, and it's already started in December, and we are now April. It's not still ongoing. We still have to wait a couple of months, and then it will be approved, hopefully. So that's something that could improve. In general, the availability of skilled IT resources, few resources for the demand here. So we have to go to creative solutions like training the people ourselves or go outside Belgium to get them, these kind of things.
Wait, I didn't understand. You have to wait 6 months to get a developer on board?
Yeah, well, to get all the paperwork in order to move to Belgium with a work permit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was always quite difficult. Could you comment on the challenges associated with the shortage of qualified specialists in the IT sector, particularly in relation to your business?
Yeah, where we see the most, or the highest shortage is in developers, like full stack developers who have really meaningful experience in a SaaS company or similar. So there's simply too few for the demand, and then you have the larger companies, like not only software companies but also like the banks, like the large banks here in Belgium. They employ thousands and thousands of developers also because they almost become a software company also. And not only the banks, also other type of companies. Anyways, this results in a war on talent that is difficult to win as a small company. So therefore, we look for other solutions. Recruiting outside Belgium is one of these solutions.
I know that you have experience with outsourcing, but not techniques. Why didn't you try IT outsourcing your developers, for example?
Yeah, we are a software company. Software is the core of our business. It's not like that we sell other things and that the website or the software is just supporting the business. So we like to have this core expertise in-house. Then, of course, you could outsource part of it, which we have done to a certain extent. So, for example, for the services, we have a couple of people in Romania who do professional service for us. It's not really development product, but linked to it. And then for the core product, we would also look outside Belgium, but not to outsource like the whole development team, just to find resources if we cannot find them here, to find them outside Belgium, and then get them into Belgium like via work permit, like we're doing now with that person that I talked about, or have them working remotely for us. But of course, part of the team, they need to have this same sense of belonging. We think it's very important. It's not just a number of isolated workers. We go for long-term commitment, and we want to invest in the sense of belonging and the fact that they are really part of the team.
Okay. In which specific industries do you believe companies can gain the most from outsourcing techniques?
Especially important if you have large IT projects with like technologies that are pretty known. Also, you know pretty well what you want. For example, during my consulting experience, I also works for large banks, also insurance companies. Like they have a lot of work around development, sometimes also work which is maybe not that creative, like rewriting applications that were written in old code on old technology stack and these kind of things. I think these companies can be benefiting from outsourcing. But maybe also smaller companies, it's not because we don't do it that cannot be beneficial if executed well, of course.
How do you determine the criteria for selecting partners when considering outsourcing for your business?
I would ask references to other software companies that I trust. That would be a first thing. And then we would probably do technical tests and assessments, peer programming, to determine whether developers have sufficient knowledge. But also we would like to interview with our HR person to see whether there's a cultural fit or not, and whether they belong to that team. And not everybody maybe wants it as a developer who is working remotely. That's completely fine, but that's not a good fit for our company. We had a lot of developers that we interviewed and that we looked up or came in via LinkedIn or other channels that I didn't want to put their camera on when talking on a video call and stuff like that. That's directly no-go. You'll be amazed how many people that are simply not able to have a normal conversation or what we consider as normal.
Why?
I don't know, because they want to maybe a bit more separated from their employer, or they think that when they turn their camera on, then we see the background and it's personal environment. I don't know. For us, it's important that you have that openness and that also you come from time to time to Belgium to meet with the team face to face. All these kind of things are just part of what we consider as normal business, but that's our culture. Apparently, it's not everywhere like that, and it's totally fine. If other companies do it in a different way, it's totally fine. We see a lot of developers that are abroad that are maybe a bit reluctant to go all in on that.
Interesting. Are there specific regions or countries that you find particularly promising for tech talent?
I think we have good experience with Eastern Europe, of course, because we have tried with India and Pakistan, and that's a lot of communication issues, and it's a different mindsets, but you cannot generalize, of course. That's
different culture.
Different culture, which make the one who has to say to the developers what they have to do, like the function analyst or the development manager, who is here in Belgium at our company, who has to instruct the developers. The fact that they are cheaper, compensated by the fact that this person who is here has to spend more time with them to explain everything 5 times, to make sure that they have understood, to correct things that they have misunderstood. If they cost like a little bit less than what we pay here, then that is overcompensated by the loss of very expensive hours from that person, like that function analyst or the development manager that has to spend significantly more hours by managing them. That's an idea that we have abandoned. We often now work with people that are culturally closer to us. So we have Eastern Europe and also Latin America works better, I think.
As we wrap up our conversation, what advice would you give business leaders considering outsourcing as part of their growth strategy?
I would say start small with one or a couple of developers. If you have the budget, you can hire 2 and then you can compare. And then I would say treat them as part of the team as much as possible. Try not to go for the lowest cost. If you have cost savings, you can invest them in plane tickets to get them to your site, to get to know them, to work together like for a couple of weeks and then send them back. That you have the relationship, you invest in the long-time relationship, and then you take it from there and you can go with from there. I think that's the best advice.
Stefan, thanks for joining the video podcast. I wish everyone to find their product market fit. Never give up like you did when you saw that the growth slows down and you found that personalized reports and moved to concept with assessment. That was, as we see now, it was the right decision. I think it's always better later than never. I wish everyone to do the same. Thanks for your insights from the industry and for the information you shared. If you enjoy our discussion and want to stay updated on the future episodes, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. That way you will not miss out on the latest insights and conversations from the Devico Breakfast Bar. See you in a week.